Hello guys, and welcome back to the SA DPC, guys. We have Epulze Kings versus Infinity. Game 2 started, and we're already right in the draft, as you can see. Mars and Interpreter are the picks for Epulze Kings as Tiny Shadow Demon for Infinity. Much more normal this time, guys. So I think we're going to get a real Game 2. What are your thoughts, Bowie? They got the Trim Protector for Apu. This has been one of their favorite picks throughout all seasons. Scary?
Yeah, it's definitely like whenever you play versus Apple King of Kings, they always need to choose those 5 heroes. In between those 5 heroes, they pick a lot to ban, right? You have the Monkey King, the Invoker, the Tree, the Gyro from Benny, and I forgot the 5th one. But I think it's a solid opener. Trim Protector nowadays feels a little bit like I know a lot of people praise the armor that Trim Protector gives, but I feel like his real prowess in the last patch was just delaying the tower to fall, and I think the region itself was better than the armor. So I still don't know the exact place of this hero right now, but it's a good one. And Wages is a specialist, so he definitely played enough to realize how to make it fit.
Yep. What about the other side, Lotus, the Tiny Shadow Demon? Are you happier with this than the Chen Enchantress?
I mean, it's all better. They have like stun, disable their BKB. I'm just not entirely sure how this tiny hero as a carry, like picked as first phase, how good it is. I think this hero is a good hero, but I think he has a lot of bad matchups. And I think he has matchups that make the game really hard, especially if he has like no buffs. If he doesn't have Io or Ogre or even like Mag or anything. I think Tiny really likes having buffs, especially attack speed buffs. But they already have like disabled through BKB. I see the Tiny being okay against Mars, because then the enemy can't really lane a Necro or a Veno against you, right? Because those heroes are like the best against Tiny carry. So if you see the offlaner, you just pick Tiny. But maybe they flex this Mars too. Probably unlikely, right? They probably flex to mid, but unlikely. Yeah. But a lot better than last game already.
The Tiny does have a flex for Infinity as well, as you said. Like, they have the mid flex for PP. They have Pamplona, who plays it as 4 as well. I'm pretty sure Papita could play it because he plays everything.
Yeah, hopefully they keep it as a flex. I don't really like if they pick it and they auto put it as carry first phase. They should flex this hero for sure.
Right. Yes, not even 8th pick actually, or 4th pick for viewers who don't play Captain's Mode, so they didn't even get to protect it with bans entirely. It's going to be Epulze Kings uses that with a Trim Protector, and they get rid of the Trim Protector counters with Night Stalker Timber, saw a lot of protection for this hero. Bowie, you talked about the regen, obviously keeping the armor, the towers alive, but what more use have you seen from pro Trim Protector players? I know you watch people like in their perspective. What other things can this hero do that people don't really know about as much?
I mean, this here's just really annoying. Like, when the enemy team doesn't have really good tower shove, you can just hold the tower for so long. You can just, like, use the tree area. This hero is really good at maximizing the safe lane after your carry leaves. This gives him a lot of... It's probably one of the 5s that can farm the most early on. So, allows you to get a Blink Dagger, whatever he feels like it's useful. So I think this hero can definitely, in a good game, surprise you. But overall, I feel like he falls off a little bit, especially if it's a 3-5, which it probably is, right? It's Epulze Kings. I think you don't really get to farm eggs. You don't really get to farm a lot of stuff. So you have this like very early timing, and then you fall off a bit, which is fine. Okay. If your draft allows for your carry to eventually grow.
Yeah, usually that's what they do as well. They combine it with a pretty hard carry with a Treant to give him the space. There's the buff you were asking for, Lelis, with the Ogre Magi and the Tiny. Of course, this gives some really inkling to Apu.
Yeah. It's a really nice combination. Like, attack speed buffs with Tiny, he benefits a lot from it. Like, one of the better carries with attack speed buffs.
Can this be abused if you're Apu? Like, he's now seeing the Ogre. You're probably leaning more towards the Tiny carry right now. Are they going to pick a counter already in this phase?
I mean, they can, but I guess if they flex this Tiny hero, they don't really want to do it. So this is like the hardest pick for them, right? They need to either pick like a double flex hero that can go mid or carry, or another hero that can go off lane or mid. That is also good against Tiny, but I'm leaning towards them picking a carry. Alright, they pick Void Sphere. So Mars is kind of locked into off lane, which is fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's a strong lane with the Hoodwink anyways.
Monkey King.
Oh.
And then there's the Monkey King you guys were talking about. That really contested matchup. Well, aren't you surprised that they haven't picked it for mini at all in this series, or they haven't even contested it?
Yeah, I think, maybe Apple Kings, they knowing that they were known for such a small hero pool, they're trying to expand. I think, in the long run, it can definitely be good for the team. But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Mini. I think he only played one Monkey King game in the last 10 or 12 matches that I've seen. And knowing that you're against Infinity, you're gonna get Monkey King, then this is not a great matchup. It's doable for the Void Spirit, but I guess if you're gonna go against it, Mini is probably the one of the best people, right? Because he plays a lot of Monkey King. He knows exactly how to go about it. That said, you still have the flex here for the Tiny. That's why I like Infinity's draft so much. You have overall last pick, and you have a Tiny 3 that doesn't mind the Bloodlust anyways. So regardless of where the Tiny is, you're still going to be happy. I think this is looking much better for Infinity than for Apu, in my opinion.
Yeah, very true. They are reaching for the stars, though. They seem to be banning for Titan carry with a Terrorblade ban. What are the other couple of carries that we could see here ban, Bellis, or the carries that work against Tiny in general?
I think Terrorblade, Morphling, I think is also pretty decent against Tiny. Usually Scotty buyers are really good against Tiny because he relies a lot on BKB. So if you just slow him, he doesn't really have like an escape mechanism, right? He buys Shadowblade, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And you probably also want a range carry with Treant, like Medusa or something like that. You don't really want Medusa that much against Monkey King, but I can see them still picking it.
Is Monkey King an equal threat if he's in the mid lane as a Medusa, like you mentioned yesterday, as a carry? Or is it less so because he needs to create more space?
No, I think this hero is the same mid or carry. He kind of does the same things. Of course, mid he runs around a little bit more, but I like his PA pick. I think it's pretty good. It's really good against Shadow Demon. This hero struggles a lot against PA. It's really hard for him to see PA in the fights. He just insta kills him. Of course, you can argue that Shadow Demon gets an Ags, but that's just way too far into the game. Where PA already has like a bunch of items, he's gonna buy Lincolns for sure. I think it's a pretty decent pick.
Would you Tiny carry in this position, or would you run in the offlane, seeing the PA now?
I think it's a good Tiny carry game, actually. I think they have overgrowth, but I don't think he really cares. I think he can even buy Manta if he wants to. Like, good Silver Edge game, right? He almost always buys Silver Edge anyways, so really good against PA.
Have SD for the Dispel, right? Against
yeah.
What are your thoughts, Bowie? Do you also agree with that? Do you also think he should be a carry?
I think you can go both ways. There's not like an amazing carry that can pick against PA, so you should probably go for something that lanes well versus the PA. I guess like offlane Tiny is good because PA is bad against overall burst. So like going both, I don't think there's a right or wrong way about it. I think Tiny Shadow Demon is very annoying against PA, honestly.
What kind of offlaner could you see then, if that was the pick? What could the offlaner fill here for Infinity?
It could be anything because it's Mariano, right? It could be Undying, it could be Chen again. He could go get Chen. I'm not even joking. Okay.
Well, it could be anything. Lilith, I know you're a fan of the Underlord. You used to be. What is your opinion of the hero now? Do you think he's still strong? Because I've heard differing opinions here.
I mean, I think the hero has a lot of like bad matchups where he just can't play the game. But I think this game, he doesn't really have one of those heroes that like he's just afraid of, like Bat Rider or Monkey King or something like that. They just kill him every fight, or he just can't lane. He's probably gonna have a decent lane this game, and he's pretty good against the Spirit heroes. He buys like Atos and he roots them. It's really hard for him to play. I think it's also like good for what they need. They need like a frontline hero, right? Something that just tanks damage for them, so their other cores can flank or just come through some other place. The ult is pretty interesting. I think it just made the hero a lot better too. Before I felt like this hero just didn't have an ult. Right? His ult is just so awkward and hard to use. But now he actually has a spell. So
I've seen Beast Coast using Underlord's ult, and like they use it really well. He sometimes just groups up with the team. Everyone just goes back to the base. Like a team fight happens middle, everyone goes back, refills bottle. I feel like it can increase the pace of the game, and when you're against PA, I think there's definitely like you can overpower this hero quite a bit if the laning stage isn't great. You just keep have to farm that Battle Fury into BKB. And if you're forced into BKB, the hero doesn't even have that much burst damage. I feel like the heroes on the side of Infinity are all super tanky. So it's not, besides the Shadow Demon. So it's not a free PA game whatsoever. And there's a lot of like incentive for Infinity to play fast. I like their chances here.
Okay. Oh, well, that, guys, Infinity has chances this time, so that's really good. That's a very good start for them, and they seem to have actually got the edge on the draft with a nice little Underlord pick. We're going to have to see what our casters have to say about it, because I know one of them has had many rants about the uselessness of Underlord, so I'm eager to hear another one from Lacoste. So let's give it over to SeekNStrike and Lacoste for the second game of Epulze Kings versus Infinity Esports.
Yes, thank you, Avo. And I won't beat around the bush here, Lacoste. It's not as quite as strong as perhaps a Chen Enchantress lane, but what do you think about this Underlord pick that Infinity have decided to go for here?
I think he's like 2 times stronger than Ench and the Chen in the lane combined. All Rises.
Oh, he might be in trouble, as we might need to cut to in-game. Rises is going to find 4 heroes here, but they will not dive this tower first blood, even with the Nature's Grasp placed down by Serum. Why do you say that? Even if you don't like the hero, why do you say that?
It's a good pick here. I think he's gonna have a decent time against Phantom Assassin in the lane. I don't think they can bully him out of the lane. Playing against the Void Spirit, playing against the Phantom Assassin later on. A lot of value that comes from the Pit of Malice. I already see Road of Aethos in his quick buy, so like double the value, triple the value of Pit of Malice if you combine it correctly. So looks good. I would say it's not that bad of a pick here. It's just that this hero is just very bad compared to some other offlaners. Not gonna even say top tier offlaners, just a random offlane heroes. But yeah,
what would you say he lacks? Just to keep talking about the Underlord, and does Infinity's draft make up for it in any way?
This hero lacks mobility, very slow, very sluggish. Something about his cast animation also make him really awkward to play. Model too
arms,
big.
He's gotta
yeah,
swing him.
I don't know. Same feeling for the Primal Beast. Primal Beast probably the biggest hero in Dota right now. I'm not a big fan of it. To go back to the top lane, Rises. I think they could have probably gotten the kill if he got Spear of Mars instead of a God's Rebuke, but maybe he's like started immediately on it. Also, Tiny starting with Avalanche is not something you want to have, so they already got a pretty big W here in the lane, just forcing out that Avalanche from Tiny, so they're not going to be as harassed. And they're starting, like, they try to go for a bit of a tri-lane here. I don't think they can leave Phantom Assassin on the bottom alone, so someone will need to TP down.
Someone's gonna need a TP. I love that that Slacks Half-Life 1 scientist voice line, as it's going to be eventually the Ogre to TP away. Sorry, make that the Treant Protector, as the Ogre was the one bullying them away from top lane. But it's basically a dream start for the Underlord. Hard to ask for much of a better one, getting to solo lane versus Benny, who you literally just do not care about, in these early levels especially.
Yeah, you just really don't get harassed at all. You have magic stick, so you can keep spamming the Firestorm. They just can't kill this Underlord. If it was a different lane, I don't know, if it was paired up with something like a Grimstroke, then there is kill potential. Phantom Assassin gets like an early Corrosion. One of the early, like rare situations, what I would say, like Orb of Corrosion is really good on Phantom Assassin. It does delay your Battle Fury time, which I'm not a big fan of, but if you get like 2 kills out of the lane, that's fine. If things are not going well, you should never go for that item, and he's skipping it right now, which I really like, that there's also like no kill threats from Shadow Demon and Underlord, especially at early levels. So if he gets Ring of Health early on, that's just gonna keep him, not gonna say full HP all the time, but yeah, that's gonna help quite a lot in terms of getting harassed.
And mid lane, just to touch on the lane, we haven't really spoken about this mini PP matchup. Once again, one of your favorites to watch. Might be even a little bit better this one, I'd say. I think it's maybe 50-50, right? A lot of outplay potential. 2 melee heroes that really like to skirmish in the early laning stage.
Mini doing I'd say a good job, and like, he does have this Resonant Pulse, so it can mitigate some physical damage. Monkey King has Orb of Venom, which I think you need to have in this lane to be able to like just close the gap and get those Jingu stacks up. Serum on the bottom lane.
Yeah, for first blood, he is going to perish. Kill goes on over to Pamplona. And yeah, already 2 points here in now the Boundless Strike as well as that Jingu Mastery. So PP basically fully always topped off here in this lane. Especially now with the second point in Jingu and this wave, he's really done a lot of damage here to Mini.
I want to see if he goes
lane, so
like all in into this lane. It puts another point in Jingu just to have more damage. It's relatively easy for Void Spirit to dodge it if he ever feels threatens, uses the Simulate, but doesn't have infinite mana. Let's see who picks this one up. It's gonna be Mini.
Yep, much needed water refill for him, although PP will walk him back to the tower and make sure he's forced to use all that regen. Look at that attack range, my goodness. Yeah, we're Venom doing a lot of work here for PP. I believe the second power rune would have been snagged up by Pamplona there. He was also going to steal a bounty, so Mini doesn't have his jungle refill available for him. Well, PP does. Mini, of course, is already chugged to the bottle. Well, this lane not really going too well for him. Speaking of lanes going well, the Underlord is having a fantastic start. Might even find a second kill here into Serum. 3-4 stacks now. The Shadow Poison, it'll go towards Pamplona, but still a kill's a kill.
They got him. I like the early point in Pit of Malice, just to be able to lock him down, then possibly a Disruption into more Shadow Poison stacks. He's going straight into Road of Aethos. I wouldn't mind seeing Mana Boots. How's Shadow Demon? Okay, Shadow Demon is going for Mana Boots straight away. He's not buying anything like, not any small items, so that's going to give them Mana Replenish in the lane, and it's going to be the killer lane. Like, I think that...
There's Serum as he rotates, trying for a kill top, and will find it versus the Ogre. But Ryze is still basically unbothered in this lane. This Tiny is bottom of the CS charts, though. Do you ever start to worry about that as he gets a good toss here? To the Mars?
One of the reasons, because I've never seen like Tiny bullet out of the lane, mostly because Tiny's always get a tree grab no matter what. And yeah, he's having a bit of a rough time. I'm gonna be using Healing Salve on Tiny as well. Do nice, same level. Seems like they're sticking around. They want to get another kill with Treant Protector on top.
Yeah, and if they get another one of this Ogre, it'll be the Walk of Shame back to him, which does open up an opportunity here onto Ryze's. Now that the Ogre falls for a second time, it doesn't have TP for about another 45 seconds after he respawns. Instead, it looks like the supports will try for mid. They will start to rotate over towards the PP Monkey King. Mini, dragging them away. Astral Step, though, is ready to go. Of course, no point in the ulti, but PP is saving a point, so he could Tree Dance away if he dodges the damage. Big lifesteal, though, as he also finds Serum. Means PP can still stick around, and in fact, is going to force out that second Astral Step.
Yeah, good play from PP, cuts down the tree with the Quelling Blade. And yeah, another smoke. They want to ruin this top lane Ogre. Where's he running at? 20-second cooldown on his TP. So yeah, they might get Tiny. He doesn't have mana for Avalanche. Mars about to
he
crack
doesn't have
level
boots
5.
either. So he's going to be very slow to run out of this Nature's Grasp, even slower now as he's pinned by the Spear of Mars, and even all this HP is not going to be enough to save Tiny, as he will crumble into rubble. Combine the words.
They're giving too much farm to Phantom Assassin. Like I think Shadow Demon could have played with Underlord. They have two ways to stop the TP with. But the Underlord being very greedy, pulling it to the small camp, and this Phantom Assassin's not getting touched. I like the build on her going straight into Battle Fury.
There's PP joining a kill there onto Serum. Third kill already here for the Shadow Demon, who's on a killing streak. Yeah, this I'm surprised how much Benny is getting out of this lane. He almost, well, he's going to be going straight Battle Fury. Like you said, he doesn't really want to go for the Orb of Corrosion in this lane.
No treads, nothing. I like that a lot in this game, because he knows that soon as they like try to kill him one more time, or if they put some more pressure on the bottom and he gets out, he's gonna be jungling, so doesn't want to have like any laning items. Power Treads is a good farming item, don't get me wrong, but still getting the Battle Fury early, and he's off to a good start. 40 CS in terms of net worth, sitting at where's he at? Second.
Blood. Good lane for PP, finds the stun though, and the spear is going to whip as PP is going to simply walk through
Still
the Mars.
gonna get a kill.
Has Jingu, he's going to lifesteal a little bit, but don't get any damage here off of Mini. Because of course he has that Resonant Pulse level 3 shield up. So a little heads up play there, as people are taking this dark, what is it called? The
Fiend's Gate.
Fiend's Gate. Thank you very much. Serum ended up taking that one, even though it was a dire Fiend's Gate. Enemies and allies alike can use the gate.
I mean, it's a good ability compared to the previous one. It's a really good one. I think Panel talked about like Dunai swapping the roles, and we can see the spears also not being on point. Mars is very hard hero to play.
Yep.
When you see these professional players play it, it looks easy. But when you're playing against the good players or other professional players, then they also know how to, play against Mars, and it's sometimes difficult to execute, and it also gets into your head if you miss like 1 or 2 spears early on.
Got a squirrel. Nice job though on the bushwhack. In fact, they're maybe looking even to turn as Serum shows up with a Nature's Grasp. That'll catch the Monkey King only for a second, however, as the Boundless Strike doing plenty of damage and is going to sustain PP back to full. He's going to assist in his second kill. Picks up the one onto Serum. So the Infinity support's having a really good game this time around, it feels, between this Ogre and Shadow Demon. Well, Shadow Demon mostly, right? Ogre has taken a couple of deaths top lane, but it's not really his fault. There's been 3 heroes top both times.
They need to enable Tiny. There are a couple of stacks in the triangle, big camps that I don't think Apu King of Kings can farm this. Maybe with Void Spirit plus Mars, but I'm not sure if these 2 heroes want to invade triangle early on. They're not going to be playing together, so this is most likely going to be for Tiny. Even Underlord can farm it. Shadow Demon, one of the better heroes in the game to stack with, so I expect more stacks to be made.
Once again, Apu Kings have not really found themselves one of their own bounties for a while, but they're all looking for a kill into Mariano, as both supports will TP bottom. Tree is cut, however, which is going to allow Mariano to simply teleport away. They have no further stuns. Instead, the action is mid lane, where the Arena of Blood has ended, and the kill has failed onto PP. Is going to repay the Mars in kind and even drop a tip.
They're dropping the tips. Ogre, he ate the spear instead of PP.
Wait, Mini just used Astral Step to farm the small camp, and now they're gonna kill him. What? Mini?
Rough one. A lot of mistakes from both of these teams, like the small ones that do add up. Treant Protector, he's level 3, 11 minutes in.
Oh, he is just gonna die to this monkey. This monkey more like a parasite than an ally to this tree.
PP needs to pop off. I think same thing needed to happen in the previous game, and so far he's doing really good.
Yeah. Well, PP is getting pretty big here. I mean, this is now his 4th kill. He's going to go for this Echo Saber as well, and already has his full Orb of Corrosion. Not to mention, both of these cores are going to be buffed by the Bloodlust, so it's going to be a Bloodlust in PP.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for PP. I mean, getting that Echo Saber, the double hit. They need to slow down, game a little bit. Treant Protector. Who bought the tome? I'm not sure who bought the book. Definitely not Treant Protector, because he is level 3.
No. It might have been... I hope it wasn't Mini. He's also up to level 8.
I wanted to say, I think it was Mini.
It might have been him. I mean, it's kind of the first reaction, right? I'll check the mid laner's inventory. Benny, by the way, almost, well, he's going to be ganked here and most likely killed. He's going to have a hard time jumping away, now surrounded by 3 heroes stunned up. And, well, down he will go. Pamplona picks up the kill. 5-0-5 now on the Shadow Demon. He's gotten a lot of these kills unintentionally. The important part is the PA is dead, because she just got a Battle Fury on the line. 12-minute Battle Fury. It's naked, of course, but still not a bad timing. Good
timing on the Battle Fury. They're going to collapse on the bottom tower. Treant Protector has 1 point in living armor, so this armor not the greatest one, and also 2 points in Nature's Grasp trying to run away. PP jumping on the trees. He knows where Treant is. He scouted things out. He knows that he's not in his normal spot where he usually is, and this is going to be another one for PP.
Maybe even with a tip onto Serum, as he's feeling much better about this game. And yeah, Lacoste, even if you do have the living armor, I feel like just Tiny, he spits on it. He doesn't care. This hero.
Yeah, he's one of the heroes that goes in and just shuts down your tower completely. Doesn't care too much about like any kind of additional buff to the towers if it's gonna stand there for another like 5 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top lane, there's a fight breaking out, though. The Arena of Blood does hold down Mariano temporarily, and the break is going to give a mega kill streak now on over to, I'm not sure who took it, Mini did, so that's a big amount of gold in his pocket, but the stun is going to cancel his teleport. 2 times multicast from the Ogre. Little illusion rune here trying to juke, but into the trees goes PP, who easily secures the kill. He comes out with 2 kills in his favor. They only lose the positions 3 and 4 for Infinity and defend the tier 1 tower,
Dire's
Lacoste.
middle tower is under attack.
That's pretty huge. It's big for Infinity because right now they have like mid laner that is very underleveled. Mars also dropping down. 2 supports. Trench Protector is level 5, so they're just giving him free levels on the bottom lane. They need like Sharpshooter full combo from the Void Spirit, and they need this Spirit Vessel on Monkey King so that he doesn't get the Jingus. Plus Arena to be able to kill him off because he's extremely tanky right now.
And PP is going to pick up a DD rune as well. PP now with Echo Saber. Lots of Ds. How about this PP? Double damage. Full Echo Saber. It's going to hurt. 2 points still now in the Primal Spring as they do see where Benny's farming. He's going to be stunned up. I think a guess from PP is he was still blurred, but still not rooted up and quickly killed off. Mariano that time picking up the kill. DA is still farming. Full power treads at the very least. So every time they kill her, she at least has 1 more item. Mini is going to try and run. There's no Primal Spring, at least from PP, for another second or 2 as he makes the jump now aggressively onto
Squirrel
Hannesis.
almost dies. 2 hits.
Yep. Has a
Mini's
boundless strike,
stuck.
Mini. Oh, no. Yeah, and he's not going anywhere, but straight back to the fountain. That's going to be his 3rd straight death, it feels like, here on the Void Spirit. 2nd, actually, pardon.
This is the Dota that I've seen them when they played against Infamous, the first series of the DPC, and they look good. They're putting a lot of pressure out on the map. The map movement for Apu King of Kings is very limited right now. Bottom lane, Serum. Yeah, this is gonna be another death unless he like uses Overgrowth, but there's also another rotation from Shadow Demon, so he's straight up dead.
Yeah, he's just going to die. Of course, Boundless Strike at this point can secure the kill and will. PP matching the length there of the Nature's Grasp of his own. The Boundless Strike. Yeah, I mean, you were talking about how earlier the Underlord not that mobile, even with the new Dark or the Fiend's Gate. PP on this Monkey King jumping around the map certainly feels like he's made up for it. Infinity as well. Pamplona specifically with his early rotations has felt incredibly impactful. I mean, it's like night and day between game 1 on his Enchantress. Not to say he necessarily played poorly on the Ench, but I just think Shadow Demon's a much better hero.
It's just the draft that they had, and this is much more aggressive. They can roam around the map, as you said. 2 supports being very aggressive and very active early on. They have also some like deep vision that scouts out any TP rotations to the tier 2 towers. Seems like they're gonna go. There is Blink Dagger on Dunai, so they want to make something happen.
Shadowblade for Rises as the Rod of Atos. Mini is going to be controlled. The Avatos, and he is dead. Demonic Purge even proves to be unnecessary damage. Okay, PP's going to whiff the big pull out from the Ogre as he looks to continue chasing. Having lost the Void Spirit, your damage is severely lacking right now for Apu King, so they are looking to avoid any fights. This Observer Ward, however, that you called out earlier, is giving, pardon me, Infinity plenty of vision. Not going to be any heroes sticking around to give him any further kills. And this Tiny's fully recovered. He's got Shadowblade, like I said. Doesn't even feel like he's really that far behind. The best Tinys I've seen with like amazing starts usually have the Shard by now, but it's only 800 away. The fight is not breaking out. Arena of Blood is committed, Dunai. Doesn't have a spear, though. At least the Aether Remnant's pretty decent at dragging back the Ogre. They get him as well as his courier, so it's something.
Yeah. Mariano also using the Fiend's Gate to bring Tiny to the fight. They thought they need him. It's only going to be position 5 dead. Mini does have a Spirit Vessel charge. Good bushwhack.
But there's no Arena. There's the Overgrowth, and Serum quickly looking to close the gap here. Might be able to catch the Tiny, but he's going to be a bit too far, and they've already lost Mini. He was controlled in the Pit of Malice, and now perhaps in trouble. It's going to be Serum. Looks like the deforestation will continue here. 4 stacks. Just the numbers of death above him. As PP
Sharpshooter coming in.
Caught this time the break. He tries to dodge the damage, but it's not going to be good enough. Kited out a bit too far. As the Overgrowth is actually going to set up for a kill. Living Armor not going to save Dunai, however. But that is a big kill onto PP as they finally at least put a little bit of a pause on the pressure he was applying.
Yeah, who got the last kill? Oh, it was actually Benny who got the last hit, so that's going to get him extra gold. 700 will get him closer to BKB. Apo King of Kings, they need to play long game. They need to take some of these fights whenever Arena is up. I would say if they can get a pick off, not the full 5-on-5 engagements. Rises.
Is this
A bit low on mana.
Yeah, there's no Deso or even minus armor, so Ryze is still pretty okay with this bonus 10 armor. In fact, the supports on Infinity are really giving Benny a bit of a hard time. Sonic Purge there, of course, not going to kill him.
Radiant's bottom tower is
We'll
under
scare him
attack.
off. Just right into the BKB for PA. Benny not wasting any time here. Definitely knows that he might need to fight a bit earlier. And even without the Deso, the PA does decent damage to these cores if Monkey King does not get up his Wukong's arena. Wukong's command.
Mariano's doing a lot of work with his Road of Atos, going for the mech build. They want to put more pressure. They want to like keep this momentum going. PP, not bloodlusted. Would definitely love to see him get it. And yeah, that's going to get him faster to his BKB, which he definitely needs playing into Mars Arena. But I've seen a lot of these carry players, they don't like BKB when they play against Stream Predictor. A lot of the times they like to build Manta style instead to be able to just use it off, and later on they buy a BKB. But seems like he just wants to keep this momentum, as we mentioned, and just go for it. This is going to be a BKB immediately, I would say, because he just disassembled the Echo Saber, so really good timing on PP.
Yep. On its way. Ryze is still a bit further behind on his. Could also disassemble the Echo Saber, but doesn't have the Mythril Armor. I believe this is an Ogre Axe being fetched. Yeah, so he's going to not disassemble the Echo. Likes the burst damage. His TPs are coming middle lane now. Apu King scouted in the vicinity of Roche. The DD rune spawns bottom, but with the closer vision is Apu King, so they do manage to stun up PP, but closing the door from behind is Rises. We'll get a Rise out of Hanasis as he tosses him to the sky, kills him off. And he at least cuts the wave and is looking to TP away, but not as lucky here as going to be Dunai. He's going to be instead rooted by the Pit of Malice, chased into the trees, where Mariano and PP are currently fighting each other to see who can right-click Dunai. And even Pamplona griefing his core. Not going to matter for too long. Dunai misses the
They
spear,
will give it to
picks up the
PP.
kill.
Yeah, he gets the last hit. There's double damage bottom. He TPs immediately. Ogre will bloodlust him.
Is under attack.
Oh, and he's going to go into the jungle, I believe. They did get a D-ward here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Serum just D-warding, but... oh, wow. Serum has Shard. So he's going to go Invis and Root for about 200 damage every single time. It's the old first ability that Treant Protector used to have.
A bit greedy, I would say. It's more about yourself rather than the team. And if you die, like you still don't contribute to anything, I would prefer if that's something else. Solar Crest sounds really good against Monkey King and Tiny as two cores. Even a Blank Dagger would be okay. I just feel like you need to amplify the damage out of your Phantom Assassin, because right now it's a bit limited. Templar Assassin definitely needs her Deso to be able to deal more damage, and probably a Shard as well to be able to like break the Monkey King. They do have Spirit Vessel on top of that, so try to like mitigate some damage coming out from the Monkey King, and it's also great burst damage on PA as well. We're talking about, you know, next 10 minutes possibly, depending if Benny dies once or twice or not.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the only person to really have the medallion or the Solar Crest right now is actually the Ogre, which you can multicast if you cast it on enemies. So that's always a fun one to get. I don't believe the minus armor stacks on yourself. That might be really funny. But speaking of minus armor, at least PA approaching the
I don't
Deso.
think it does now.
That'd be hilarious.
You see Ogre, get 4 times multicast, a full Solar Crest, and then he gets 6 times 4, 24 armored. He just dies from one right click.
Yeah, he's dying to creeps already with 11 base armor, but that's would be a little bit too much for him. Is going for the full Solar Crest as it's a smoke play now from Infinity. Into the triangle they go, where Serum currently invis, doing some D-warding, just going to hide and stand still. He blends in quite nicely here, but the Ogre dropping his sentry will be able to sniff him out. Something's wrong with this tree, he says. PB will chop him down. And the Fiend's Gate once again erected here, so Mariano could join the team.
Yeah, Bloodlust plus a
Radiant's
Solar
middle tower
Crest.
is under attack.
On a PP, eventually right now it's only Medallion or even Tiny. Like, both cores do benefit quite a lot.
I think it's
From
going
the
to go from
Bloodlust.
PP to Rises. I mean, look at this guy, this Tiny with attack speed. It's just like the item he desires, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Does have the Shard that you mentioned, hits level 18 on Tiny, going for the Silver Edge, so break mechanic against Mars. Great against the Phantom Assassin as well. A rough one for Apu King of Kings. They need to play, you know, they need to enable this Phantom Assassin. This is their only way. Because right now, Hoodwink, also very limited. They do have, like, break mechanic also from Sharpshooter, but I think that's a bit difficult to execute, especially if Mars
TP's going
land
hunting.
the stun.
He's gonna be speared up. Still has Boundless Strike. Now he's got Vision, but he was predicting the Mars to jump across the river. Means he's not going to be able to land it. It just feels so hard for Apu Kings. Usually the play that I would see a lot of teams look to make is, you know, set up a hunting squad. Maybe now, not with Aegis, right? But after this Aegis expires, go for a couple pickoffs, have Treant Protector cut these waves, and have, you know, Void Spirit hunt with Hoodwink. That's a lot of nuke damage, and you could potentially 100-0 a typical team, but it just doesn't really feel possible. Infinity Ogre is just too tanky. Plus there's a Shadow Demon with a save that's super annoying here, this Disruption. Which can really hard cancel you. No chance for the X-Scepter with the starts that Mini had. So instead he's going Kaya and Sanj top of his vessel.
You have a point. Someone needs to be out of the base. They can't just play for the high ground defense, because against Tiny with the Shard and Aegis, you lose a fight, you might lose a game pretty much once they're in your base.
Super good point, especially now that well, Solar Crest is about to be finished. Fortify is through at least, as Infinity chopped on all the tier 2s, and with, wow, still 90 seconds left of this Aegis, they actually start poking high ground.
Fiend's Gate.
Fiend's Gate.
They're going for Benny.
They force the BKB. They're not going to have the right-click damage, so they're just going to head right back. They say, okay, see you in the base. And Serum trying to cut the waves. They overgrowth, but he is not really going to be getting away from this one. Slowed to a crawl there by the Demonic Purge. Part of me is it's the Ogre who picks up both kills, getting the last hit there of damage onto Hanasis, and rises straight back onto your tier 3s. No BKB for Benny, and no Fortify.
They know that they can't take the fight.
Danger.
This was such a great play from Mariano. I mean, it reveals their ward, but whatever. I mean, they just pretty much won the game off of it.
This is looking like it could be at least one lane of barracks, tier 3 tower in the mid lane, as PP does get jumped, and I holding on to the Arena of Blood as he forces PP back. Probably was expecting him to get pinned there, but no dice. Monkey, of course, conserving his BKB this entire time, as the Vessel will tick him low, but not low enough. There's that Vessel, as Rises, he's happy enough, just a dispatch of the melee barracks. Mariano heals up the boys, and PP still alive. Infinity still have this Aegis for another 30 seconds, and they just make a very clean exit from the enemy base.
Full Silver Edge done. Now on Tiny. Monkey King
going for
Benny
again.
MKB. Yeah, he is going for his own KB in this game, level 18.
Another DD.
They need to heal him up.
Says...
They're going to give that to Tiny, for sure. He benefits a lot more.
I think Tiny... Well, he's not going to pick it up. It's still there for another 90 seconds. Not to worry. Aegis, however, isn't. It's going to be reclaimed here in just the matter of 2. So, Apu Kings, sensing no better time to fight than now, with a Blink Dagger on the Treant Protector and with the Deso finished for the Phantom Assassin, for what she's bought out for. Seems like Apu Kings are going to be forced to go for this play now. Just reclaimed. PP continuing to farm. Serum doesn't have his Blink Dagger on him. He's outrun his Courier. Where's his... I thought did he not buy a Blink?
On who?
On the... he did. He didn't take the Blink. It's in his Courier still, on the Treant Protector's Courier.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
It was just, he was so close, and then he sent it back. He wants to save it. Right now, Apu King's trying to take a fight around their ward, but Infinity they're not going to give it to them. They're actually grouped in their triangle right now, just farming tier 3s, as Tiny has bottled up the DD rune. Smoke now themselves. Infinity seem to be heading in the wrong direction, so I think we can say this smoke isn't going to pan out. They don't know that, though.
They know something is up. Look at the base. Range barracks slowly dying. No one showing in the mid lane, so they know something's up. Double damage. They're using the Fiend's Gate. We'll go top. I think they lose fight. They just lose the game with double damage on Tiny.
That's absolutely terrifying. Still not popped. It's still good in this bottle for a while. As Rises, he's going to, just delete your buildings. TP's incoming now from Apu Kings, as there's that living armor. And there it goes, already deleted. Maybe had to right-click it. Maybe he had to think.
Yeah.
He had to think about right-clicking it one more time, but then he didn't because he had DD rune.
It was that second hit from the Echo Saber.
Yeah, that completely neutralized it, and Apu Kings, they are just completely at the mercy of whatever Infinity want to do. They push high ground, they force you back. They say jump, and Apu Kings have to say how high. It's their only response.
Oof, rough. I mean, in terms of the gold, it didn't increase that much considering the situation they're in. Like, they're still keeping this below 15k. Shard bought by Phantom Assassin. She has the death, so no extra damage on it yet because they didn't take a fight. But having a Fan of Knives, it's 16% max HP damage, which against Tiny, against Underlord, these are super tanky heroes. You deal a ton of damage, and it's also pure damage that goes through BKB for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, it's pretty strong, and it's not like the AoE is that bad either. I mean, it hits that entire circle around the Phantom Assassin if the Observer wants to hover over the ability. It is pretty ridiculous. It is very strong against these heroes that want to fight you. We still haven't seen a PA try and fight into the Wukong's command yet. To be honest, Infinity have barely had time to put up the Wukong's command with how fast PP has been killing them. So
they didn't need it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons. And he also is holding onto Blast Rig, so have a bit of extra armor on Monkey King, and has that miss chance as well. Yeah, the blind. Smoke from Apu King of Kings. This is do or die. Let's go. They can get the initiation on him.
Almost alone. Then he's going to jump in, backed up by the arena. They're going to try and burst through him, but the sharpshooter's not going to come in fast enough. Rises with the crit, lives on 30 HP.
He's going to get him. Crit
from Benny. Picks up the kill, but the team's now here for Infinity. They're looking for revenge, as this time the Wukong's arena is going to get erected by PP as he takes down Serum. And this as well is going to run away, but caught now 2 people, in fact, in the pit of malice. They're going to go for the high priority target, which is Mini. They nuke through him. Benny trying to TP away. Do they have a stun? Yes, they've got a banish as PP BKB's up. Will beat down Benny. Misses a couple of attacks, gets broken, but it matters not. Lacoste 4 dead in exchange for the Tiny.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job in terms of killing the Tiny, but the rest of the team deals too much damage. Tiny still had a BKB on, so Shadow Demon couldn't use the disruption, and in the end they just die. It was also a crit on Tiny when he was running away, but they're not gonna have any barracks left.
Nope.
That's gonna be mega creeps. They do have Phantom Assassin with the Battle Fury if you want to stay positive and try to figure out how they come back into the game. You know, maybe go for Divine Rapier, pray for the best type of play.
It's a bit far away from that Rapier, unfortunately. Only really getting the 1 kill in that fight. Of course, doesn't give her too much bonus damage on the Deso. Deso got 5 damage removed, or I think 10 damage removed from it. What was it? It was 5, but of course you make that up after 1 good fight, which the PA has not yet gotten. Well, 20 talents, Blur Evasion taken, makes a bit of a difference if Tiny didn't have the Silver Edge to break you.
Monkey King also has full MKB, so I think he needed to go for the other talent.
Well, it is his bar after all, right?
Pretty much.
Only makes sense. Yep, so it's do or die time, it feels like, for Apu. I feel like I've been saying that for the past 10 minutes, but it really does feel like the case. They no longer even have the option of nuking through the Shadow Demon, as he now has a full Aeon Disc up. At the very least, the wards aren't going to scout them. They do see the Hoodwink illusion. That's the Shard, which Rises does jump. Of course, he's got this status resist talent, so he doesn't really care about that.
They're baiting on Invis.
Yes, they are. Mariano with a mini blink escapes the Arena of Blood. He's looking to turn now as they slow down Dunai. He's tanking a lot of this aggro, though, which allows Benny to jump on in. They cut the tree of PP through his BKB. That's going to be a long stun, but he's going to erect the Wukong's command. He fakes it, actually, and that gets Benny away. The entire enemy team now setting up around him as the Bushwhack. Not going to do anything. GG is called. Infinity still managed to take a fight easily, and they will force a Game 3.
Both games very one-sided so far. Looking for a Game 3. What kind of graph Infinity will have, because they can play good Dota if they have, you know, normal heroes, and so they did in this one. PP completely dominated the mid lane, top lane. Rises needed to recover a little bit more time, but looking at the 2 supports, they've been making a lot of moves early on, and yeah, Underlord pick paid off. You know, just looked good. Wasn't contested in the lane. They gave a lot of free time to Phantom Assassin because they were moving around. But in the end, it was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, how much credit does PP deserve for this one as well, going almost godlike streak in this game on his early rotations? I mean, he just completely popped off, shut down Mini. Mini didn't even have a game, it seemed like to me.
No, also a couple of mistakes from Mini as well when the one that you mentioned, when he uses like last Astral Step to farm a melee camp, the small camp, it just didn't feel great. A couple of these mistakes, Train Protector being level 3, 11 minutes in also didn't help out. And yeah, back to the drawing board, see how they can win game 3, because Infinity definitely stomped them in this one.
Yep, one-sided game for Apu Kings in game 1. Infinity with a better draft, pardon me. Go ahead and return the favor and stomp Apu Kings. We're going to go to our panel as well as they break down our series a bit more as we anticipate for game 3. So over to Avo Plus and the boys to see what they thought about this match.
Thank you, Richie. Much better match here for Infinity. And I'm going to talk to you, Bowie, because you were the... God damn it. I had to do this one.
Oh.
Well, you know, we take turns. This panel, we mute ourselves once, one each panel. Next time is you, Lelis. Hope you don't forget. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. As I was saying, Bowie, you were the one that was saying they have to be careful with Infinity. You saw this team and you're like, this team is good. They can't really relax themselves. Do you feel like Apokek's got a little bit relaxed in game number 2?
Yeah, but I really feel like this was a overall draft problem. I think they kind of got into the same trap that Infinity did in game 1 with that 4th pick. You go for a 4th pick that is kind of sus. I think Tro is not a 4th pick hero. And Void Spirit also not necessarily. I think they got trashed by the Monkey King being picked. And, overall, I think like Underlord did well, but in a normal game where the mid matchup is even, you actually saw that the Battle Fury on Rises went really early because Underlord just pushes the wave and he can't pressure PA under tower. Like, you can just dive with Underlord like you could with a Timber. So if the mid matchup was even, I feel like they could have just did much more on the side of Apu Kings. This time, that Void Spirit, I think, completely just trashed their draft. It was really hard for them to do anything, and they couldn't really relieve the pressure on the supports. They had no levels. They were level 3 at 12 minutes, like Lacoste said. I think it was just a really hard game.
Lelis, you actually spoke about, or you praised Pippi when we started this engagement. I think we kind of saw him pop off this game. Even the Pango game was actually pretty decent by him, to be honest, but this game was something else. Do you feel like he was the main force behind the team's victory?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he got the favorable matchup. I mean, they're both Monkey King players, right? Mini and PP. So I feel like they should have seen this one coming. They didn't want to ban it, and they knew they were going to get counterpicked. Like, they play this hero a lot. He plays it a lot in pubs. He always pops on this hero, one of his favorite heroes. I thought that was a mistake letting it through, especially if they're going to pick Void Spirit like that. He did really, he just kind of carried the game, right? He got his matchup, and he got a great score, ganked every lane, just did really well in lane. And also the Underlord lane did very well. Like, usually this Underlord hero, he just feeds. And in this game, he just got to sit in lane. And that's what he wants to do, right? He also wants to sit in lane and his farm. And then it just became a problem for Apu Kings. This bottom lane is just terrible when Treant has to leave the lane and gank top lane, which was good, right? They got like some kills, but when he's level 3, 11 minutes, he doesn't get to sit in the safe lane and do his Treant thing. Yeah. It just hurts them a lot, right? Especially if they have this PA hero, which takes a while to get online, right? The PA hero depends a lot on the other lanes doing at least like a draw, because the hero just doesn't really contribute much. She has to farm a Battle Fury, then a BKB. So,
what do you think, Bowie, that Apu King should work on for this next game? Not playstyle wise, obviously, but what do you think their strategy should be coming into game number 3?
Yeah, I think they just have to think a little bit more about the lanes, because the problem is that they started with that tri-lane top because the Underlord they had way too many melee heroes, so they were kind of afraid of laning the PA with anything else. You don't want to really send the hoodwink bottom, and I think that their lanes were really destroyed by the way that they're drafted. I think it was very similar to Infinity in game 1. So just make sure you have better lanes, and it should be an even game. Also, be careful with Void Spirit. There's a lot of heroes that I think deserve to be either 23rd or 24th picked, and Void Spirit is one of them. No, there's a reason it's in Team Spirit's list as a D tier guy.
Well, we're gonna nice reference there. We're gonna take a small break now as we can harp on these draft mistakes with an actual draft in front of us, and we'll come back in around 5 minutes with the third game of the series between Apple, King of Kings, and Infinity Esports. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.